Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm down at Hendrick BMW Northlake. We get to take a look at the all-new 2022 BMW M440i xDrive Gran Coupe. So huge shout out to them for providing this vehicle for me today. Make sure you guys check out their website. All that info is down in the description. But the M440i that you see behind me is finished off in Black Sapphire Metallic, and it has a list price right over $63,000. To start off today's review, we're going to take a look at what powers this M440i. Underneath the hood, you'll find the 3-liter inline 6-cylinder twin-power turbocharged engine. This has the e-boost 48-volt mild hybrid electric system, along with the 8-speed Steptronic automatic transmission. And combined, it pumps out 382 horsepower and 368 pound-feet of torque. It features the xDrive all-wheel drive system, weighs in right around 4,100 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds, up to its top speed of 155 miles an hour. And it has a fuel capacity of 15.6 gallons. You'll expect to see around 22 miles per gallon in the city and 29 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 112.4 inches. Its overall length is 188.5. It has a width of 72.9 and a height of 56.8 inches. As we move on to the exterior styling now for this M440i, let's start off with the design for the kidney grille. You'll see BMW has released the larger grille in the last few models. I think it looks really good for this car, very proportional. You can see the surround is finished off in gloss black to match the exterior paint. This also has active grille shutters behind there too, just to help improve with better airflow and better aerodynamics. The entire lower section is completely open, and you can see all the brushed trim running throughout the grille as well, just to give it a really nice color combo. This has even more functional vents on both sides where you can see all the parking sensors, and it even has functional air inlets on the corners of the bumper, so that will help direct airflow around the front tires. You can see all of the contoured lines in the lower section too, and then really nice lines up on the hood. You can see a few running down them, meeting the top section of the kidney grille there, just giving it a really nice design. As we move on to the side, this model has the M Sport wheels along with the M Sport brakes. So you can see these 19-inch wheels with that 5-spoke design and the two-tone finish with the red brake caliper just behind it. The trim piece behind the front tires is also functional, so that airflow can go through the front bumper, around the tire, and exit that trim piece. We have the blacked out side mirrors with the integrated turn signal and a really nice floating design on the upper section there. This does have a sunroof. You can see all the window trim is blacked out too. It gives it a really nice side profile design with all these lines and that coupe-like design with the rear glass there. Everything is very proportional. You can see these side skirts there have some really nice designs and contoured lines to make them flare out just a little bit. They are a separate color too, so you can see them even better. And then in the rear, you can see the trunk lip spoiler. This has the backup camera integrated into the BMW logo. All the parking sensors are here as well. You can see some lines in the lower diffuser as well as the dual exhaust on both sides. So with the exterior wrapped up, let's take a look at the rear here. We have the electronic button up underneath, or you can use the key fob, of course. And with this hatchback-like design and the coupe-like design, we have a ton of space with those back seats up. You can see over on this passenger side, there is a bin here and a small net along with a 12-volt and a hook. On the driver's side, you get another compartment along with a net. And then with the back seats folded down and this piece removed, you can see how much more space there is, making this a very, very practical everyday vehicle. You can put in a lot of items if you need to. And then with the power liftgate, we have lock and close. The one on the left will just close it, which is really nice to see. And you can lock and unlock the back seats just by placing your hand up underneath. You can hear that. Very convenient feature to have. And now we can move on to the Tacora red leather. You can see the two-tone design on the door panel with the gray stitching, brushed aluminum on the upper section. This also has the interior ambient lighting, along with the upgraded Harman Kardon sound system. And you can see there's a little bit of storage space down in the lower section. But this red is a great color combo, especially against the exterior black. And at 5'10", it's time to work my way into the back seats, where you'll see I have the front seat set at my height. I have plenty of room for my feet and my legs. And even with that coupe-like design, I still have about a ½ inch or so above my head. So it is spacious for full-size adults. You could ride back here and they are functional. Right in the middle, if I pull on this tab, you can see we have an armrest along with 2 cup holders. And then these back seats do have a 40-20-40 split. So you can fold down the middle one if you have any longer items. And then you can fold down all of them, of course. And you can get another perspective from this angle to see just how much more interior storage there is if you need to utilize it. Right in the middle, you can see 2 air vents along with the 3rd climate control. So we have the temperature along with where you'd like the air to go, and 2 USB-Cs if you need to use them. There's also storage nets behind both front seats, just making it a little bit more practical. So definitely plenty of room for your backseat passengers. And before we work our way to the front seats, this does have remote start, so you do have to go in and activate it if you'd like it. If I triple tap on the lock button, that is how you activate this, and we can hear this start up. And then if you do need to shut it off for whatever reason, you just triple tap that button again. And with the vehicle locked, all I need to do is place my hand up underneath. You can hear it unlock. Where the door panel is just like the rear, however, we do have the addition of the memory seats along with all the window controls, the side mirror adjustments, lock and unlock, and the release for that lift gate. You can see a little bit of storage space down below, along with M down on the door sill. And just looking at these seats again, really nice design with the gray stitching, all of the perforations. You can adjust the front section just by pulling on this tab if you want a little bit more comfort, and the rest of the controls are all automatic. There's a low door sill, so it's really easy to enter and exit from the front. We have that grab handle there. And then looking at the steering wheel, you'll see it's completely covered in solid black leather with black stitching running along the inside. This also has the M steering wheel, so you can see that badge down below, along with all the brushed aluminum. But let's fire this up now. We have that engine start-stop button down in the center, and with my foot on the brake, we can bring this to life. And you'll see on this digital gauge cluster, on the left side is the speedometer and the miles per hour. On the right side is the tach. You can also see the power meter there for that hybrid electric system. The navigation always shows front and center, which is really helpful to have. And then also within that tach, you can go through a lot more information using this button on the top of the turn signal stock. So currently you can see some data information. We also have live readouts for horsepower and torque. So if I give the vehicle some gas, you can see those adjust. You can also pull up the G-force meter, look at your music when you have that on. You can also see what gear the vehicle is in, as well as the driving mode. So I'll show how to go through those later. You can also see a live readout for the MPG. So it's nice to have all of that front and center. And then on the steering wheel, you can see this has cruise control over on the left side. On the right side is volume and tuning, as well as Bluetooth and voice commands. This is even a heated steering wheel too. On the left side, we have a little bit of a storage bin if you'd like to place any items there. You can see all the headlight adjustments along with the dimmer switches for the gauges. There's one air vent. This does have the heads-up display, so currently it's showing miles per hour and the speed limit sign. And then right in the middle, we have this very large touchscreen system that has a lot of usable information to go through. You can see on the home screen right now, we have navigation along with music and phone. You can also pull up more of that data information along with traffic and the compass. And on the last page here, you can see the date and time along with weather and news. Over on this left side, these are all presets, so those are all fixed. You can go from your media to your phone. You can also pull up the navigation if you want to. If you go into car, you can go through a lot more settings. So you have your driver information that you can monitor if needed. You can also go into these sport displays. So if you're on back mountain roads, you can pull this up and look at all this information. Or you can even look at the energy flow, so where the power is being sent, which is really cool to monitor. And then if we go back, you can go into vehicle status, so you can look at all of these. You can also go into settings. Climate controls is where I was able to turn on the remote start. Interesting place for it. You can look at the interior lighting, your displays, your driver assistance. You can go through all this information. Very helpful to see that. And then you can also go into your carrying car, your driver profiles, even your owner's manual. The last one here is apps, so you can pull up Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, or some of these other apps, just depending on what you like to use. And you can go through that system using all of these down below. You have map and navigation along with home, media and phone, the rotary dial here. You'll see more brushed aluminum just underneath that. There's even a shortcut for the intelligent safety. So you can go through the forward collision, the lane departure, your blind spot, and your steering intervention. So it's nice to be able to quickly get to those. And then just underneath that, you can see the LCD screen here for all of the climates. They're finished off in brushed aluminum. So we have the fan speed along with the temperature for driver and passenger. This even has heated seats, so you can see those, as well as the recircs and other defrosters and all of those controls. There's an air vent on both sides, as you can see. And then just underneath that, we have power and volume for the radio, as well as all of the presets. Tuning is over on that right side. And then if I close this compartment, you can see all the wood trim along with the brushed aluminum and the leather to give it a really nice look. And if I open this back up, you can see underneath this key card, we have the wireless charging pad. You can use this instead of the key fob. So if you're going to the lake or something, you don't want your keys to get wet, of course. You have this style key fob, which is nice to have. There's also a USB, a 12 volt, and 2 cup holders. And then as we work our way to the shifter, the release is on the left side. If I go into reverse, you'll see the backup camera up here with the guidelines. The sensors are over on that right side, and you can just pull up these sensors for whatever reason if you'd like to, but obviously those guidelines are very helpful to have. We can go into drive, put it over into the manual settings, so you can use these steering wheel mounted paddle shifters if you'd like to, and park is on the back side of that. On the left side, you'll see traction control along with the parking sensors, and then we have the different driving modes. You'll see the gauge cluster will change just depending on the driving mode that you're in. So we have a few for sport, we have comfort, and then there's a few for the eco. So just depending on how you'd like to drive this, you can set that up. We have the electronic parking brake, and then right in the middle in the center armrest, you can see a USB-C and a good amount of storage for any items you'd like to place there. Over on the passenger side, we have the glove box with an ample amount of room. And we'll take one last look at these seats. Have a really nice color to them. Up top, we do have the sunroof, which is automatic. We have all the adjustments for the sunroof too. All up in the middle here, and then on each side are the dome lights. All right, so now getting this 2022 BMW M440i Gran Coupe out on the road. We actually had one of these for a week. It was a press car that we were able to review and pretty much daily drive for 7 days. So I have a lot more seat time in this than I do in this model here in today's video. But it was a phenomenal vehicle. I really like this design, especially with that hatchback design and the coupe-like design at the same time. This makes it a very, very practical daily driver because you can put larger items in the back, especially when you fold those seats down. You can put in a lot. So it's really nice how it's not a separate trunk from the backseat area. So it's very, very open for anything that you want to put in the back. And this is a great daily driver. Having been able to drive it for 7 days in a row, I really like it. All of the tech is what you'd expect for a BMW like this. My one drawback with this model is that it doesn't have the adaptive cruise. I think that's something that they could add to this model. Everything else is great. I love the different driving modes. I love how it drives. I think that's just one thing, one minor detail that they could add to this Gran Coupe. But as far as being practical to drive every day, the backseat room, slightly tight. I'm very comfortable in the back though, so I could be back there for long periods of time. But I do like the overall size of it and what you're able to get as far as storage and putting people in here. All of the materials are also really nice. All the brushed aluminum. We have all the wood trim too, which is great. Now it's in sport mode. You can hear some pops in that exhaust too. This even has launch control, which we were able to do in our review. This is a brand new vehicle, so I won't be able to do that today. But this handles so well, and you have plenty of power to get out of those turns. And real quick, as we take a slight detour, the maneuverability of this is very tight. So in parking lot situations and things like that, you're definitely going to be able to maneuver this well. And visibility over this left side, I can easily see out of that window. Same with over the right side. So while we have that steep rake for the rear glass, pillar's not really all that bulky. I can see around it with that second window in the back seat area. I love how quick it shifts. You can hear some pops and a deep rumble to that exhaust. It doesn't happen every time, but it's nice. It puts a smile on your face. It makes it that much more fun to drive. That definitely sounds good. And then as we switch over to the POV angle, we're still in Sport Plus with the manual mode. I can put it back into normal. We can even go into Eco. And now if you just want to save on some MPG, you're just cruising on the highway, you can do that. We're going to put it back into Sport Plus though for this video. And I don't know if the camera could hear that exhaust note change. but you have a lot of configurations where you can set it up. And I have the sport display currently shown, so you can see your horsepower, your torque, your G meter, along with the PSI that you have, and even a temperature gauge for your oil. You can monitor all of the important information while you're out on a back road. And what I love about BMW is that they have the navigation front and center. So that way, when you want to have the fun information in the middle, you can still see where you're going, you can see what turns are coming up, so that way you can brake and gas as needed. Definitely a quick car. It has a healthy amount of horsepower and torque for its weight and for what this car is designed. It's more on that entry level, but it still handles very well. And just like that, we are up to speed. Definitely a fun vehicle, but I think that's gonna wrap it up for my walk around review and test drive behind the wheel of this 2022 BMW M440i xDrive Gran Coupe. Once again, huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this vehicle for me today. Check out their website, that's down in the description. And if you enjoyed today's review, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. I'll see you guys in the next video.